Welcome to the Envision VIP software demo. This demonstration is going to show how you can manage information, policies, procedures, regulations, all sorts of business knowledge using the Envision software. Let's take a look. If we go into the enterprise footprint, we see a way where we can manage information according to location, store all of our locations, and information about them. We could have employee directories, facility information, data center information, any vital information that we need stored in this easy to navigate map format. This can then be published to the web, shared with our employees, our customers, or anyone we want to have access to it. In addition to storing our enterprise footprint information, we also can capture enterprise architecture information. For example, we may have some strategy and planning knowledge and initiatives that we want to capture, perhaps some alignment measures that we want to include. Any kind of business strategy or information necessary to drive the business. We also have enterprise architecture data that we can store. Envision can use any type of methodology, so capabilities, processes, and even other customized methods of storing enterprise architecture information can be stored in Envision. This information is directly related to our strategy and our enterprise footprint. We also have controls and drivers, or rules and regulations, our desktop procedures, our enterprise policies, all kinds of information that is vital to running our business and important that it's accurate and easy to get at. If we take a look at the library of rules and regulations, in this example we're looking at a medical company, so they're interested in medical regulations. Here we have what looks like just a simple page with links on it. However, if I double click on one of these, I go down to a more detailed view where I can go into different sections, different parts, and what we have here is a graphical view of the document. So instead of scrolling through a very lengthy Word document, we have organized it into these different sections, and simply by clicking on one of them, I can see the information underneath. This is very helpful if you're trying to find specific information, a specific regulation, a specific rule. You can also see we've linked to the definitions, and these are links within Envision. We can click on the object and bring up the definition. Should the object name change or the definition change, that would automatically be reflected in this view here. Now, in addition to having these views graphically, we can publish them to the web so our employees can quickly find policies, procedures, regulations, or we can print them into a Word, PDF, any format, and have those documents generated as well. Some people just like to read through documents better, and that's always an option. So we looked at rules and regulations. You can also have desktop procedures, enterprise policies, or any other enterprise information stored in a similar format. The information doesn't have to be directly in Envision. It could be links on a website as well. A lot of regulations may not be stored in your enterprise. You may be getting them from outside sources. Let's go back to the top now and take a look at the enterprise context. So now that we have our capabilities or our processes, we know where our facilities are, we know our people associated with them, our physical resources, we have our knowledge, our regulations, we have that captured as well. Now we want to bring this information together and use it to help run and manage our business and our interactions with other enterprises or organizations. So if we take a look, for example, at healthcare coverage, we see all the different healthcare coverage people that we could possibly work with. In this example, we'll take a look at Medicare, and please note this is just an example. We don't have any actual Medicare information in here. We may have guides or knowledge associated with Medicare. We may have some performance associated with that. It could be a sub-organization that we're looking at here instead of an external organization. We could do some SWOT analysis, some process alignment, but let's take a look at the interfaces. So here we have Medicare in the center. We have inputs and outputs. At the bottom we have enabling processes, human resources, and technology that interfaces. And then across the top are the guides, the information, the knowledge, the regulations, the rules that are needed for this particular entity in the middle. If we take a look at one of these, for example, I'll click on it, we get to that same document breakdown that we looked at earlier. So we've tied all this information together. This red connector that you see on the diagram here actually links to information in our library of rules and regulations. It's the exact same information, so change it once, it's changed everywhere. Doesn't matter how we get to that information. We can also bring up a connections report that shows if this is connected to anything else. And you'll see here that this knowledge is also used by medical devices, Medicare, pharmacies, and state government. Again, these could be processes, they could be people, it could be a relationship to the technology that it comes from. These relationship matrices can be run on any type of information in the repository. This is helpful if one of these changes, then we know all of the impacts. We can also do a more graphical view to see where else it's used within the organization. Our side panel comes up when I do a show where used, and after just a few seconds, we see all the other places where that particular 164.504 is used. And you can see there's a lot of places throughout the organization or our relationships that use that same regulation, that same rule. We have similar types of information for all the interactions within our organization. And similarly, rules and regulations, policies and procedures, processes are all tied and linked to these. Once we have this information, we can publish it out to the web, or we can keep it internal using the secure access with Envision to make sure that only those authorized see the information. This concludes our brief demo of one way Envision can help you organize all of the information, policies, procedures, rules, regulations that your enterprise has to deal with. Thank you.